as you go through life, I think it's important to remember the people who taught you so much and to not forget them. And if you can, still reconnect with them. And that's my introduction of this next guest on the Howie Carr Show, a man from WBCN back in the glory days, Charles Laquidara. Charles, are you there?
Howie, what is all this malarkey? Hey, I first of all, your producer answered the phone and said, so how's the weather here in Hawaii? And I said, I am not in friggin' Hawaii. I am in Boston freezing my tuchus off. I cannot believe this. But anyway, I'm here, and I wanted to know if you'd help me promote my show, because I'm going to have a show on December the 10th at the Wilbur Theater, and I'm going to be talking to a gathering of people from like you said, from all facets of WBCN, people who remember the early days in the 60s and 70s, people who remember the later days when BCN went very commercial and didn't do too much politics and back and forth. There'll be a whole group of people out there, all different parts of the audience, and a lot of them are going to be your listeners, and a lot of them are going to be my listeners. And it should be fun because we're all going to finally get together and talk about the one thing that bonds us all. That's music, sports, and just life.
And where do people get the tickets, Charles?
They go to dazeinthelife.com. That's D-A-Z-E in the life.com. And then you can get your tickets, and you can find out more about WBCN, the station. You remember that. By the way, where is that station? I tried to find it. I'm going through the dial. Where the hell is BCN?
Where are any of the rock stations, Charles? They're all gone.
I know. I know. It's like AM radio, and I think the sports station. And what do people in Boston listen to? They listen to Stern. They listen to you. They listen to,
news.
What is
news.
It? Yeah. And public broadcasting, and just there's not much out there, is there? You're like
there
now,
I gotta tell you something. When I first met Charles 40 years ago, I lived in Somerville, and I used to go by the garage on Marshall Street, and I'd see stuff going on there and stuff moving in and out of the garage. And I thought I kind of understood the rackets. But then I went over to WBCN to see Charles running the morning show. And Charles was running more rackets than Howie Winter and Johnny Martorano. He had cars, swimming pools. Yeah, and I said to myself, man, forget the Winter Hill gang. I want to get on the radio.
Howie, back in the day, before, like in the early days, before everything got crazy, people did barter. Somebody a farmer who raised produce, he would trade produce to have a carpenter build his house. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's the American way. And sometime it got all screwed up when stations, disc jockeys who were really corrupt would say, I'll play your record if you give me a color TV. But that's not what BCN was about. We were about the barter system. Like a restaurant would come up, would come up, and
you call it barter. The feds called it payola.
No, you missed what I said. See, you didn't hear what I just said. And that's you have to listen to is a restaurant would come up and we'd say how great the food was. We'd eat the food. We'd enjoy the food. And then that restaurant's proceeds would go way up that same day. So it worked out for everybody. Nothing wrong with that.
Quo.
But you are the guy who knows about corruption, so I'm not going to argue with you about that. But trust me, it wasn't corrupt. It was pretty cool.
Do you ever hear from our old friend?
Very good. Hey, Laquidara. You know what? I'm one of the deplorables all you libtards all talk about. And I'm telling you, Donald Trump is going to take over the world. And he's going to be the greatest president in the history of the world. And people are going to take a knee to the American flag because that's what it's all about. Because Trump is MAGA. No, it should be MAWA. MW, make the world great again, because that's Donald Trump. So, Laquidara, you're a shrivelly old guy, and you're doing that show at the Wilbur Theater, and I am going to come, and I am going to be there that night, and I am going to make you look
Dwayne, Dwayne, where have you been all these years? What have you been up to?
I've been in Butte, Montana. I've been sort of reactivating myself, and I've been working out. And Howie, I know that you have the same diet I do. I don't eat as much anymore. I eat less. And Howie, did you know that your head weighs 12 pounds? And it's like if you hold a medicine ball far away and you bring it close to your chest, it gets lighter. And your head weighs 12 pounds, and there's a little bone in your neck that has to hold that head up, and you can't. Wait, Laquidara, can you play Misty for me?
Dwayne, we'll see you at the Wilbur Theater on December 10th, but thank you for checking in. Charles, I miss Dwayne.
I don't. No, I don't. No, Dwayne is very un-PC, and Dwayne is, no, he doesn't get it. You know what, Howie, here's the thing. I heard you talking on your show about how you have a new diet and how you like the summer over the winter.
Yes.
And there's a lot of things that your listeners who are so opposite to my listeners, we got to find something. Sports, music, I don't know, love of rainbows. We got to find something that gets us all together, because it's getting really screwy. That's all I can say. I really mean it. And,
Charles, where do you still live? You sold your place to Oprah, but that was a long time ago, right? So you're in Hawaii?
Yeah.
Are you the one using the EBT card that we wrote about in the Herald today?
I didn't see that. What's an EBT card?
EBT. It's the old food stamp card, and it's welfare. It's the someone's using a Massachusetts or 18 people last year used EBT cards in Hawaui.
We had a pact. You never told me you were going to bring Glasscock in, and now you're being political. And now you're an ageist. I remember you used to say when you were writing in the Herald, I don't know if you still do that, but you used to call me the wrinkly rocker. I could do more push-ups than you then, and I can now. But there might be. So I'll challenge you, buddy, anytime.
One time I invited Charles to come down to the South End. And I said, come into our bar, J.J. Foley's. And he said, where is it? And I told him where it was. It's it's on Berkeley Street, East Berkeley Street, the old Dover Street. And he said, I don't know if I want to go down to that area. That's a bad area. And I said, what do you have to worry about? Those are your people down there if you're worried. Plus the place is, the bar is crawling with cops. And Charles comes in, and he's packing the Equalizer, the big liberal. Do you still have a gun?
You promised me you wouldn't bring. Listen, all right. I'm going to tell you one more time. I don't have a gun. I don't carry a gun, but I might have one. I might have in my house. I might have a 357 stainless steel Magnum 5 round. But that's because I have to protect myself against all the crazy people that your NRA is arming. But we can't talk politics. We got to talk about my show. I want to see all your listeners at my show, because we're going to have a kumbaya time. There's not going to be any politics. I don't know about this Dwayne being there. That's like, we're going to keep him locked out, I hope.
You better get Dwayne there. Dwayne will really give you Boffo box office, Charles.
Yeah, well, I'd rather just have only 3 people there than Dwayne and Boffo box office. But anyway, it's for those of you who want to be there, just go to Days in the Life. That's DAZE in the life.com, and go there and buy tickets, and maybe we'll see you there at the Wilbur Theater on Tuesday night, a week from tonight. All right. So Howie, thank you for letting me be on your show, and thank you for everything you've ever done for all the liberals by making people just to realize that.
Thank you. And Charles has a big announcement. He's moving. You're moving, Charles. Before we go, quickly, you're moving.
Wow, nobody knows about that. Okay. So this is, again, one of the things we talked about.
I thought you were going to announce it on the show. Yeah, I thought you said you were going to announce it. Your short-term memory's fading.
That is true. But anyway, here's the thing. We talked about having things in common, and if you take away the politics, we all have something in common, not only music and not only sports, but kids. I got grandkids now. I'm in Hawaii, and I want to watch my grandchildren grow. So I'm going to move out of Hawaii, and I'm going to go to California. My house is up for sale. Do you want to buy it, Howie? It's a great house.
No, but I may, for Christmas, I may send you some rubber boots so you can walk through the problems on the sidewalks in California now.
I heard. There's fires too. Listen, nobody's going to escape it, but it's when you start making weather be political and it gets crazy. It's not political. It's nature. It's going to be crazy. We're all in it together, buddy.
Charles, always a pleasure, and thanks, and I look forward. I hope you get a big crowd out for your show at the Wilbur Theater. Thanks, Charles Laquidara, and accompanied by Dwayne Ingalls Glasscock for a little bit.